Okay, let's start with the presentation of additional material natin for BAPE 2 Audit Probs Part 1. So, dito tayo ngayon sa Audit of Receivable. So, ngayon lang ito na-release. Pasensya na. So, anyways, let's start. Diretso na tayo. So, problem 1. On January 2, 2016, a parcel of land, property which costed around 800,000 pesos was sold by Minahal Corporation. So, the company received 1,200,000 notes receivable as payment for that sale. So, 800,000 yung cost ng land na binenta nila. 1.2 million notes receivable yung na-receive nila as payment. Now, this note bears an interest in the percentage of 4% and is payable in 3 annual installments of 400,000 plus interest on the outstanding balance. So, the prevailing rate of interest for a note of this type is around 10%. So, yung present value table shows the present value factors of 1 at 10%. So, hindi tayo pinahirapan pang kunin. Diretso nang binigay. So, maganda yung mga ganyang problems, di ba? Nakakatuwa. So, yun. PV of 1, 3 periods, 2 periods, 1 period, present value, ordinary annuity of 1, di ba? Ito yung mga basic problems pagdating sa mga So, anyways, the gain on sale of parcel of land, yun yung unang question. As of December 2, 2016, so nag-error lang tayo sa pag-type ng mga dates na to. But anyways, ano daw yung gain on sale sa land? So anyways, ano yung sabihin ko? Hanapin nyo muna yung present value ng note because that will be basically the cash price equivalent, di ba? Ng sale na na-receive mo. So in that case, okay. Yeah, sana yun tayo. Dito na pala. So yun. So, present value. Hanapin mo yung present value niya. Diba? Ito yung gagamitin mo. Bakit mo kailangan hanapin? Para it represents the cash price equivalent. So, yun magiging mo. Gain on sale mo. As of the date. Kakagising lang natin. So, anyways, ito. Hanapin yung present value. Diba? Napakadali. PV factor, multiply. So, ito yung present value of note mo as of the date of sale. So, yan yung basically na-receive mo. PV ng note mo. Minus the cost of land. Then, yung gain on sale mo is around 276,847, letter B. So, no sweat, di ba? So, ang next question is the interest income on the note receivable for the year ended December 2016 using the effective interest method. So, ito. Yung present value note mo times 10%, yeah, that is 107,685, letter C. How much cash will Minahal Corp receive from the notes receivable? So, nandito yan sa taas. Diba? So, sabi dito, 1.2 million notes receivables payment in 3 annual installment, 400 each. Diba? Plus the interest. Diba? Plus the interest. So, with that said, nandito, ito yung mga principal, diba? Ang tanong lang naman kasi dito, how much cash ang marireceive from the note receivable? So, yung principal, di ba? Yung tatlong annual installment to 400, then yung kanilang interest, di ba? Interest received, kumbaga, 448, 432, 416. Di ba? Pag napapansin nyo sa mga yung sa mga present, yung sa mga receivables and liabilities, di ba? Yung mga may present value, di ba? Magkakaiba yung, usually magkakaiba yung interest income sa interest received, sa yung interest expense sa interest paid, di ba? Nagkakaiba-iba sila because of the difference in the sa effective interest and yung sa yung stated interest, di ba? Dito 4%, 10%, things lang na wag nyong kalimutan, di ba? From their discussion nung FAR nyo. But anyways, the correct answer is 1,296,000, letter C. So, let's go to problem number 2. Ito sa problem number 2, on the date of April 1, 2016, scholar ng Axie Corp assigned accounts receivable totaling 400,000 as a collateral on a 300,000 16% interest note na hiniram niya kay Papa Mo Bank. So, the assignment was done on a non-notification basis. So, ano mean ng non-notification basis? Diba? Hindi i-inform ni scholar ng Axie yung kanyang mga customers, diba? Yung kanyang mga customers about the using the accounts receivable as collateral. Bakit yun mahalaga? Kasi pag na-notification yan, yung payment ng customers, diretso, bibigyan nila kay scholar na Axie, kay company. Na ngayon, kapag notification basis naman yan, on the other hand, ang mangyayari, yung mga customer, since na-notify na sila about this transaction of assignment ng accounts receivable, ang gagawin ng customer, i-remit na lang nila diretso sa bangko yung payment instead na idaan pa kay scholar na AXI. Kaya yan yung difference ng non-notification and notification basis. Ngayon, pagdating sa journal entry nila, wala naman pagkakaiba, papareho lang yung gagawin. Except dun sa isa kung saan makikita natin mamaya. Pero not necessarily iba yung journal entry, but rather iba lang yung naging date. Anyways, so yun. The assignment was done on a non-notification basis. In addition to the interest on the note, the bank also receives a 2% service fee that is deducted in advance on the 300,000 value of the note. So yun. Additional information, the collections of assigned notes in April totaled 191,100 net of 2% sales discount. So may nag-collect siya. On May 1, scholarship AXI, scholar ng AXI paid the bank the amount owed of April collections plus accrued interest on note to May 1. So yung na-receive niya dito, binayad niya. The remaining accounts were collected by scholar ng AXI during May except for 2,000 accounts written off as worthless. And yung with that said, on June 1, scholar ng AXI paid the bank the remaining balance of the note plus its accrued interest. So ito yung unang question. The journal entry of scholar ng AXI in the assignment of accounts receivable is wala dito, hindi nakalagay. Oo. Ito dapat yung nakalagay dyan, no? Ito dapat yung answer. Nagmali yung sa problem. But anyways, so bonus tong si number 1. Ito yung correct answer. Assignment lang naman eh. Nagkaroon ka lang ng reclassification. From being an ordinary accounts receivable, it is already an accounts receivable that is assigned in order to state, di ba? State the fact, in order to manifest na yung accounts receivable na yan is already considered to be a collateral on a loan that you procured. So yan. So bonus to number 1 natin. So number 2, the journal entry of the scholar ng AXI Corp in the assignment of accounts receivable on April 1, 2016, assuming the assignment is on notification basis. Walang pagbabago. Pareho lang yan. So, bonus din to kasi hindi nakalagay yung answer dyan. Now, take note, itong 1, it pertains to this transaction, di ba? Yung nagkaroon ng reassignment and the assignment was done on notification basis, then may receive na siyang cash, di ba? Pero, may finance charge of 2%, nandito yan, no? Si 6,000. And, ito, notes payable, nagkaroon na siya ng liability. So, nangyari yan. So, anyways, yun? So, then, bonus to. So, the entry of scholar ng AXI Corp on collection of the assigned accounts receivable. Sana. So, yun. Nag-zoom. So, yun. Wait. Wala tayong. Ba't di ko nilagyan na numbering to? So, the entry of scholar ng AXI on April collection. April collection of the assigned account. Sana April collection. Collection of assigned accounts in April totaled 191,100 net of a 2% discount. So, ito yun. Si paragraph 1. To. So, kita nyo, na-receive cash 191. Net of sales discount. Ito yun, 2%. 3.9K. And since it pertains to AR assigned, 195. So, letter. So, 191. Letter. 3.9K. AR assigned. Yun. Letter A. Kasi nga, na-reclassify na. So, hindi accounts receivable, but accounts receivable assigned. Okay? So, if the assignment is on notification basis, who should collect the assigned accounts receivable? Yung bangko na, si Papa Mo Bank. Bakit? Kasi kung non-notification yan, hindi aware yung customer. So, as usual, ibibigay niyo yung payment niya sa company. Pero kapag notification basis yan, aware ang customer. So, instead na idaan niya pa sa company, i-remit niya na lang diretso sa bank. Sabi niya, di ba? Kaya dito, since notification basis yung sabi, diretso na sa bangko. So using the assumption from the previous number, ito, what will be the entry of scholar ng AXI on the April collection of the assigned note? Using the assumption, ibig sabihin notification basis. So what will be the entry of scholar ng AXI on the collection of the assigned note? Answer dyan, letter D. Wala. Bakit? Ito yung sasabi ko. Di ba? Kanina yung medyo difference ng notification and non-notification pagdating sa assignment of accounts receivable. Dito, since notification basis siya, so ang bangko, doon na diretso yung payment sa bangko. Ngayon, since doon na diretso yung payment, walang gagawin si scholar ng AXI. Ang gagawin niya na lang yan, maghihintay na lang siya ng note galing sa bangko. Sasabihin ni bangko, oh, yung sa AR assigned na sa akin, may binayad na sa akin na AR assigned. So, the moment na na-receive ni scholar ng AXI yung notice na yon, tsaka lang siya mag-re-record. Pero the actual payment na ginawa sa bangko on a notification basis, walang i-re-record si company, si scholar ng AXI. Kasi hindi siya aware eh. Hindi pa siya na-notify ng bank na nagkaroon ng remittance sa kanya. So in that case, ang answer dyan is letter D, no entry. Magre-record lang si scholar ng AXI kapag nag-notify na sa kanya si papa mo bank na, uy, may nag-remit sa akin. Okay, doon lang magre-record si AXI, si company. Kaya dito, no entry. Ano ba nilagay ko dito? Ano ba number to? B, D, o tama. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, number 6 tayo. 6, okay. So, the journal entry of scholar ng AXI on May 1, 2016. May ano bang nangyari sa May 1, 2016? Paid the bank the amount owed for April collections plus accrued interest on notes on May 1. So, yun. Ito yan. So, paid the bank 195,000 yung collection plus the accrued interest in the amount of 4,000, diba? 300,000 times 16%. Yan yung usapan nila. And 1/2, 1 month kasi. 4,000. So, the cash na binayad is 199,000. Ngayon, so that is letter 195 for letter D. Next is using the same information from the previous number except that the assignment is done on a notification basis. The entry should be paano lang. Paano namang changes yan eh. Yeah? So, ito na. The interest expense of the scholar ng AXI on the assigned account. So, magkano daw yung binayaran niya. But anyways, ganito yan. Diba? Ito yung sa May 1. Then, nagkaroon ulit ng collection for the remaining amounts sa AR except for 2,000 accounts written off as worthless. Ito yung remaining collection. Then, on June 1, scholar ng AXI paid the remaining balance of the notes plus accrued interest. So, ito yung remaining balance. So, kita nyo, may interest expense ka, 4,000, plus yung sa remaining 1.4K. So, that is 5.4,000. Letter A. So, di ba, napaka-basic ng AR. Let's go to the next. So, the next one, inception. Similar to dun sa naging natin eh, sa isang discussion natin sa similar to sa naging discussion natin sa isang yung lecture video natin for this topic, di ba? So, familiar na kayo sa ganitong klase ng problem. So, skip na lang natin to kasi same lang naman to doon sa isa, di ba? Kasi doon, may ganitong given. Or, basahin na lang natin. So, from the inception of operations to December 31, 2016, magiging CPA rin ako company provided for the uncollectible AR under the allowance method. Provisions were made at 2% of the credit sales, bad debt written off or charged to the allowance, recoveries of bad debts previously written off or credited to the allowance account, and no year-end adjustments to the allowance account were made. So, magiging CPA rin ako. Usual credit terms are net of 30 days. So, the balance in the allowance for bad debts account was 143,000 at January 1, 2016. So, during 2016, Excuse me po. During 2016, may credit sales ka of 15 million. Interim provisions for doubtful accounts were made at 2% credit sales, 140k yung bad debts na written off mo. And recoveries of the accounts previously written off, nagkaroon ka recovery, 43k. So, magiging si pay rin ako, installed a computer facility on November 2016, and an aging accounts receivable was prepared for the first time as of December 31, 2016. So, aging na yung gagamitin nila. Diba? A summary of the aging is follows. So, ito. Bang, additional information in regards to the aging. So, based on the review of the collectability of the accounts balances in the prior to January 1, 2016, aging category, additional receivables totaling 120k were written off. As of December 31, 70% of the uncollectible estimate applies to the remaining 180k in the category. Yeah, dito yan. And effective with the year ended December 31, 2016, the company adopted a new accounting method for estimating the allowance for doubtful accounts at the amount indicated by the year end aging analysis of accounts receivable. So, daming words. But anyways, number 1. What is the balance of the allowance for bad debts account on December 31, 2016 but before the year-end adjustment? O, ibig sabihin, wa pa tayo kebs dito. Oo, kasi nga itong ito pa yung ginagamit niya beforehand, before the year-end adjustment. Yeah? Before na nag-decide siya na mag-aging ng receivables. So, yun. So, gamitin natin yung previously na ginagamit kasi before year-end adjustment, di ba? So, yun. Ang allowance niya, beginning, the balance in the allowance for doubtful accounts as of the beginning, di ba? January 2016, is 143k. Ngayon, i-add natin yung bad debt expense na na-recognize niya kasi tiyan mo, di ba? 15 million interim provisions for doubtful accounts were made at 2% of credit sales. So, 15 million, the sale of 2016, credit sales times 2% is 300,000. Then, nagkaroon ng recovery of 43,000. Now, take note, di ba? Sabi dito, recoveries of bad debts previously written off were credited to the allowance account. Kasi ganun yung nangyayari, di ba? Ganun naman yung normal na nangyayari pag nagkaroon ng recovery. So, yan, plus 43. So, yun, 343. Ito na yung total. 140 plus 343 is 486. Ngayon, ang problema, meron kang write-off. Hindi lang tong 140,000. Kasi pag tingin mo dito sa baba, 120,000 were also written off by the end of 2016. Noong December 31, nag-write off ka ng 120. So yun, 120 plus 140 plus 120 to, 20 is equals to 260,000 ang write-off mo. So, minus mo yan, ang allowance for bad debts mo before the year-end adjustment, December 31, is 226,000, letter C. Ngayon, ang next question. What is the journal entry for the year-ended adjustment to the allowance for bad debts accounts? What is the journal entry for the year-end adjustment? Dito mag-a-adjust ka na, di ba? For the allowance for bad debts account balance as of December 31, 2016. So, ito yung before adjustment, 226. Tapos, ang sabi, adopted a new accounting method for estimating the allowance for doubtful accounts at the amount indicated by the year-end aging analysis. So, mag-aging analysis ka na kasi daw yan yung gagamitin mo. So, ito yung aging analysis. Di ba? Ito na yun. Rate. Yeah, for December ito, ganyan lang. Amount 40 to 200 for this one, yeah. Yung 10%, 130. Yung sa 25%, 210. Ngayon itong prior to January 1, 2016, yeah. Lang. Ito na yung mga ito tama na. 'Di ba? Meron kang 300,000 pero yung 120,000 na write-off mo, ba? So, 180 times 70%, 126. So, yung required allowance balance mo, allowance for doubtful accounts, yung required balance is 509,200. However, yung nare-record mo pa lang is 226. So, yun, increase in allowance mo around 283,200. Kasi nga yung required, kasi nga nag-adapt ka ng bagong policy, aging of receivable, so 509,200. Kaso, based on your old policy, 226 pa lang yung na-record mo. So yun, kulang ka pa ng 283,200. So yun, bad debt expense, 282, allowance for bad debts, 282,200. So letter 282,200, letter A. And ito, for the year ended December 31, 2016, magiging CPA rin ako, company's bad debt expense would be ito, bad debt expense recorded yung 300, additional bad debt expense to arrive at the required balance based on aging. Diba? Kasi ito, nag-journal entry ka dito, then ito pa yung journal entry mo, so T-account mo yan. Okay, ganito lang kasimple. 583,200. Letter D. And lastly, the NRV of magiging CPA rin ako company's account receivable at December 31, 2016 should be. So NRV, net realizable value. So ito, 4,600,000, kaso nagkaroon ka ng write-off at the end of di ba? 120,000. So kaya dito, 4,480. The venue required allowance mo per aging is 509,200. Yeah, solve natin dito. Allowance mo yan. So ang NRV mo 3,970,800 pesos. So that is letter C. Diba? Basic na basic. No sweat to sa inyo. So let's go to number 4. So ito, problem number 4. Ito, similar rin to doon sa diba? Sa isang problem natin sa lecture video. So repeat lang basically. So the following long-term receivables were reported in December 31, 2015. Statement of financial position of Penge Durian Corporation. So NR per the sale of land, 3 million. NR from an officer, 800K. So the following transactions during 2016, the following year ng 2015 obviously, and other information relate to the company's long-term receivables. So the NR from the sale of plant, itong sa 3 million, bears an interest at 12% per annum. So the note is payable in 3 annual installments of 1 million pesos plus interest on the unpaid balance every April 1. So the initial principal and interest payment was made on April 1, 2016. So current year. Yung notes receivable naman from the officer, itong 800K sa taas, is dated December 31, 2015. Earns interest at 10% per annum and is due on December 31, 2018. So lump sum. So the 2016 interest was received on December 31, 2016. Ito naman additional yeah? The Penge Durian Corporation sold a piece of equipment to Masarap Durian Incorporation on April 1, 2016 in exchange for a 400,000 non-interest bearing note due April 1, 2018. So non-interest bearing to. So alam mo ito yung mga, 'di ba, yung non-interest bearing yung mga madadaling present value notes. The note had no ready market and there was no established exchange price for the equipment. So the prevailing interest rate for a note of this type at April 1, 2016 was 12%. So yung present value factor mo, buti ang given agad for 2 periods at 12% is 0.797. So Atraco plant was sold by Penge. Ito naman additional one, last one. Atraco plant was sold by Penge Durian to Gusto Ko Durian on July 1, 2016 for 2 million pesos under an installment sale contract. So Gusto Ko Durian signed a 4-year 11% note for 1.4 million on July 1, 2016 in addition to a down payment that was made beforehand in the amount of 600,000. So the equal annual payment of principal and interest on the note will be 451,250 payable on July 1, 2017, 2018, and 2019 and 2020. 4 years. So the land had an established cash price of 2 million and its cost to Gusto Ko Durian was 1.5 million. The collection of the installments on this note is reasonably assured. So unang tanong, the amount to be reported as current as non current receivables in the statement of financial position at December 31, 2016. So, non-current yan. Ibig sabihin, dapat more than 1 year. Diba? More than 12 months. More than the operating cycle. So, non-current. So, dito tayo sa una. Yung NR for the sale of the plant. So, 3 million. Ngayon, collection. Unang collection, April 1, 2016. Kaya dito, 3 million minus 1 million, 2 million. However, ang pinapahanap sa atin is yung non-current. Considering, as of December 31, 2016, yung next installment of 1 million will be April 1. Yeah? Mga 3 months na lang from the end of the period. Yeah? 3 months. So, ibig sabihin, current na yun siya. So, yung natitirang 1 million, which is next year pa as of December 31, 2016, yun ang non-current portion. Yeah? Kaya dito less installment due April 1, 2017. So 1 million yung non-current portion ng NR na to. The next one is the NR from the officer. Yun, 800,000. Diretso. Ngayon yung NR, yung notes receivable from the sale of equipment, diba? Non-interest bearing siya. Non-interest bearing. So in this case, ganito yung mangyari. Present value of the note as of April 1, 2016, 400k times the present value factor o at 12%, ito siya. Ngayon, diba? Ganito yung nature ni non-interest bearing, diba? Habang palapit sa maturity, yung kanyang value pataas ng pataas hanggang mag-reach yung 400k. Ganun yung nature niya, di ba? Present value nga, di ba? Kung ang value niya sa future is 400k, anong value niya ngayon? Di ba? Discussion niya sa sa MAS, di ba? Pero ganun yung niyan. Logical reasoning. So yun, as of April 1, 2016, ito yung value niya. Then add the interest income kasi nga nagkaroon ng passage of time from April 1 to December 31, 2016. So 318,800 times 12% times 9 over 12, 28,692. So add mo yun sila. 347,492 na ang value niya as of the end of 2016. So next is yung tract of land, di ba? 1.4 million. Then less the installment due on July 1, 2017 kasi nga 451,250 payable on July 1 of every year. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. So current portion yan. So tanggalin mo yan. Current portion less the interest. Ba 1.4 million times 11%. Yan sila. So 297 yung net. 250. So ito na yung non-current portion ng notes receivable on the sale of land. So add mo na lang yan. 1,800,347, 1.1. So that is 3,250,242. But don't forget your basics pagdating sa present value. Kaya nga kayo may separate subject para dyan, di ba? Yung math of investments. Diyan yan talaga pinofocus yung computation and logical reasoning na yan. Na-discuss din to sa MAS. Basta don't forget your present value. Present value, future value, annuity, ordinary annuity, annuity due. Yan yung mga basics na pag nakalimutan nyo, GG kayo pagdating sa board exam. So don't ever forget about those concepts. So the current portion of the NR, ito naman ang hinahanap current portion. On December 21 should be, so yung 1 million yung galing sa plant, di ba? Kasi ito yung due, di ba? Noong April 1, 2017. Ito, di ba? As of December 31, 2016, ito yung due within 3 months. So yun, ito siya. And yung NR from sale of land, yung 297, ito. So add mo na yun sila, 1,297,250. And the accrued interest receivable on December 31, 2016 should be, so yun, the notes receivable from the sale of land from April 1 to December 1, 180, and yung galing sa land, diba? So 7,257, and number 4. On December 31, 2016, the unamortized discount on the notes receivable from sale of the equipment is ito. So the unamortized discount 400, 381,200 plus the amortization na ginawa natin dito. To. So, that is 52,508. And lastly, the total interest income for the year ended December 2016 should be ito, yung galing sa plant, di ba? For the first 3 million for the first 3 months. Then yung April 1 nagkaroon ng first payment of 1 million. So 2 million na lang natira. So that is for April 1 to December 2 na. So ito 270, then yung from the officer 10% of 800k, NR from sale of equipment 28 to 692, 692 yung ano dito sa taas. Ito. And yung NR from the sale of land 77k. Ito. So yun, add mo na lang 455 692. No sweat, di ba? So anyways, yun lang, di ba? 4 numbers. So with that, punta tayo. Okay, tapos na. Next na ulit yung sa quiz assignment number 3. Bye-bye. Love you.